I didn't want to talk about work, but I've had a bit of an unusual meeting with my client recently. So it was a meeting with just the two of us, and I'm going to say the basic premise, the main theme of the meeting was that I wasn't doing enough, I suppose, or working quickly enough. And how could that be fixed? Now, I will just say that personally, I don't think there is any problem to be fixed. I'm working at the speed I work at. And with something like programming, there really is only one speed. I mean, I don't know, imagine a writer writing a book. How do you speed up that process? Because you have to think and you have to invent, you have to invent the plot. You have to figure out what's going to happen next in the story. You have to remember different things about different characters and what they'd said in the past, and maybe you have to look back over things you'd previously written, and you've sort of got to build this mental picture in your mind, sort of hold it all in your mind and try and work out what the next step's going to be, or maybe you have to go back and edit something, change something you wrote previously. How do you speed something like that up? What you do? Think faster? Type faster? It's not really possible to do something like that for a writer. And although they are entirely separate things, writing, say, a book, a work of fiction, and writing a computer program, there's actually a lot of similarity there in terms of the the way you have to keep so many things in your head, and go back and edit areas you've written before, and figure out how you're going to make the next part of it work. And simply typing faster isn't really going to help if it was even possible. And like I say, thinking faster, you can't really do either. The only thing you can do is cut corners. You can rush. You can be less careful. You can introduce more mistakes, and those mistakes will take more time to fix further down the line. And I've seen this happen time and time again over the course of my long career in computing, where you've got a situation where a developer is under pressure, maybe there's a deadline, and the only way to try and speed things up is to sort of like cheat, not do it properly, do half the job, and then later on they probably usually regret that because they've got to clean up all the mess they've just made, or they get like further pressure. Find themselves under more pressure from, I don't know, maybe a boss or the client or something like that. So no, cutting corners is definitely not the answer. If it was me personally, if I was either the client or, I don't know, manager or something, my message would be to a developer, to a programmer, take your time and get it right. Don't rush. And that's actually the way that you can move as quickly as possible by moving more slowly in the beginning. Do it slowly, do it right, and then maybe you just have to do it once. If you do it quickly and rush, who knows how many times you have to sort of try and redo things to like fix things, or how long you have to spend, and how much money gets spent when you're rushing. So there's that, which is a bit worrying, and then there's also why does the client think I'm taking too long? Against what measurement am I being compared? Now, if we'd both had a conversation like, I expect this task will take this long to do. I don't know, like this one task, I expect it will take, I don't know, half a day or something like that. And then it takes me a whole day. And then the client comes back to me and says, I think things are taking a bit too long. I would understand that. I've said it will take me half a day. It's taken twice as long. Obviously, there'd be some reason for that, and I could say, well, this happened and this is the problem. But this is different. This is just the client saying, this is taking, I think you're not doing enough. You're not getting through enough tasks, or these tasks are taking too long to do. And don't forget that the client has absolutely zero background in anything computer related. No programming background, nothing. So this would be similar to me, maybe talking to, I don't know, what's something that I know absolutely nothing about. Maybe a doctor, a surgeon, operating on someone and saying, I can't believe it's taken you so long to do that heart surgery. That just takes too long, based upon my zero knowledge of how long that takes to do. Or I don't know, maybe like a mechanic or something, taking your car in to get fixed, and they do the job, and then you say to them, why has it taken a full week? That's a lot longer than it should have taken, when you know absolutely nothing about the actual work involved. So this was a weird experience, and indeed it's the first time it's ever happened in my career so far. And I guess I was so shocked by this, and I was not expecting it at all, that I didn't really at the time have a particularly good answer as for what's going wrong. I mean, at the same time, I didn't really think anything was going wrong. I did acknowledge, I was new to this project, and it's a big project, and it takes a long time to become familiar with a big project and to get up to speed with it. So I did acknowledge that, and I sort of said, this is given some more time, I'm sure I'll get up to speed and be in the same place where everyone else is. But I remember at the time, the back of my mind thinking, but really, are things going to change that much? I feel like you have unrealistic expectations here, and I don't really feel like I'm in a position as a developer to say to the client, who isn't personally my client, it's my company's client, to say to them, I feel like you have unrealistic expectations here, and explain why that is. So it was a very unusual meeting indeed, and I think a very worrying meeting, because I just don't know how things are going to progress in the future when you've got that kind of client. Again, I'm not trying to be rude to them. They seem like, very nice people. But I sort of feel like I not only have to do my job, but I also have to justify my job, or educate the client and explain, no, this is how development works, or I don't know, introduce some system maybe where, I don't know, some way that we can both get on the same wavelength, that we can both have the same way of thinking about how this works. I don't know, but it feels like this is beyond my job. My job really is to program. That is the job of a developer. This kind of stuff, I would say, falls in the realm of a project manager, and we do not have a project manager on this project. Like my company does, for some projects, have a project manager. For this particular one, we don't. It's just developers and the client. So I suppose that's the reason part of the reason we are hitting problems like this. But yeah, strange meeting, bit worrying, not sure what to think about it yet. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Anyway, we'll see what happens in the future, I suppose. Hopefully things will improve. Hopefully this problem will sort of go away. But yeah, I'll keep you updated if there's any more news. So until next time, bye bye.